Serving Amherst and Amherst Township, your hometown television station, Amherst City Cable.
Well, hello, sports fans. Welcome to the Sports Show. I'm your host, Ty House, along with the co-host,
Alex Squires.
the big homie, the co-host.
You threw me off, man.
Threw him a curveball in the winter. He wasn't ready for it.
I missed it too, man. I missed it. What's up, Ty? How are you?
I'm awesome, man. 'Tis the season. How was your Thanksgiving?
Wonderful.
Did you eat a lot? He said, I love Thanksgiving, man. Good times with family and friends, a lot of food, a lot of drinks. Mm-hmm. Everything is fantastic. And then you got to get yourself together, get the money together for Christmas.
Yeah, right.
You're going to be broke.
It's adding up already.
Yeah.
It always does.
So we're here talking sports.
Yeah.
We got all kind of sports. What's going on? We got all kind of sports popping off. We got college football. We got college basketball. We got
Starting
NBA.
Yep.
We got NFL.
The NFL,
We
yeah.
got We got hockey that we don't ever talk about.
Hockey.
And we might even talk a little boxing today.
Okay.
We're gonna kick things off though with the college football.
Yeah, the rankings.
The rankings come out tonight. As of last week, we had Alabama at number 1, Oregon 2, 3 was Florida State, and number 4, Mississippi State.
Yep.
With TCU, Ohio State, Baylor looking on the outside looking in. Mississippi State lost Saturday.
Yes, they did.
So bye-bye Mississippi State.
You would think so, right?
Yeah, bye-bye Mississippi State.
Yeah.
I mean, because we already have the AP poll out.
Yeah.
And if the CFB selection committee's poll looks anything like the AP poll, we dropping Mississippi State down to 10.
Yeah. Okay. That's quite a drop, but I guess they really saw them for what they actually are.
I mean, 2 losses.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's going to be kind of hard to be involved in this. Because, I mean, you hear certain people, if you listen to certain analysts, they're talking about leaving Florida State out of this top 4 and they're undefeated. How is that possible?
And at this point, that doesn't make any sense because of who you're gonna replace them with.
Man, it's
know?
rough. It is rough.
Personally, I mean, I know we're pretty much in lockstep in this, in the fact that neither of those 2 Big 12 teams are any good.
TCU or Baylor?
TCU or Baylor's not any good. And then, my team, UCLA, they lost last week.
They vanished.
Oh, they really did. They scored like 10 points or something.
Oh my God! I've been messing with UCLA all week. All year. I don't know what happened.
And then you have Ohio State. You would normally think they'd be a shoo-in, but they lost their starting quarterback. So what do you do?
Shoe-in.
Oh man, I did that on purpose.
Shoe-in.
Horseshoe-in. But no, yeah. So then who do you put in?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, I really honestly feel like it's going to be hard to put Ohio State in, even with a convincing win over Wisconsin this weekend in the Big Ten championship game.
Even with a convincing win?
Even with the convincing win, it's going to be hard for Ohio State to be playing with the top 4 teams in the nation with a third-string quarterback.
I can't argue with it, man. It's true.
Compliments of the University of Michigan. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Whoa, that was rough. You can't just say things like that.
I mean, well, you did whoop us.
That's true. That's fair. But it just, it's really, it puts them in a really, I'm sure the selection committee is upset the most about this because really, what can they do? I mean, you put Georgia in there? What are you going to do?
I mean, that's bad luck for Ohio State. I mean, that's like, what was it, 2 years ago? The perfect season.
Oh, yeah.
Got nothing to show for it. Last year was undefeated to the Big Ten championship game. Lost 2 games in a row, nothing to show for
Clemson,
it. Overcame the Braxton Miller injury this year and the Virginia Tech loss.
Yeah.
To get all the way to this point just to
have it all washed away, thanks to Michigan. But still, I mean,
You said it.
Even if Cardale Jones goes out there and he throws 5 touchdowns, whatever, and they just stomp Wisconsin,
Right.
I still would have a hard time putting them in there.
Right. I mean, because you playing against, this is the first playoff that we getting.
Yeah.
Which means you want to see the best 4 teams.
Right.
And Ohio State with a 3rd-string quarterback is not at their best.
Right.
And I mean, as much as we would hate to say it, you would have to put one of those Big 12 teams, and it would leave out the Big 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's leaving the Big 10 out of the first championship. I mean, out of the first playoff series championship.
And I mean, Greg actually made a good point before we did the show. He was talking about how Cardale Jones, he's a 3rd-string quarterback. Clearly, he was behind Braxton Miller and JT Barrett, who both pretty good quarterbacks. I mean, Braxton Miller, they both do it in different ways, but in their respected realm, they both pretty good quarterbacks. He was still recruited by Ohio State. Greg was saying he was still recruited by Ohio State, and he's still on Ohio State's roster, so he's got to have some kind of game.
He's big. He's fast. He's from Glenville.
Yes.
Which is a football factory.
Absolutely it is.
But he's a freshman. Or is he a sophomore?
He's a sophomore. He was with us last year. But still, he's had limited amount of playing time. And even when he's been in games, in blowouts, in the past 2 seasons, he's been he hasn't really done anything that jumps off the page at you.
I seen him in the championship game against Braxton Miller. Was it against Braxton Miller?
Is that high school?
Yeah. Was it Glenville against Braxton?
Where'd Braxton Miller go?
He went to, I forgot the school in Cincinnati. It's on the tip of my tongue. We ain't going to talk about that because I just blew that away.
It's all right. Why'd you even bring it up?
I've seen him play. What I'm trying to say is I've seen Carnell Lake play.
Yeah.
And when you see him, to me, he has all the physical tools. The guy's like 6'6".
Oh, it's huge.
He's like 250.
Yeah,
he just reminds you, but his actual play kind of puts you in the mind of a Vince Young.
Well, as far as, the college game goes, Vince Young was one of the best college quarterbacks we've ever seen.
Which is scary. Which kind of like would make Ohio State like a system. Like you just plug them in.
And that's another thing we were talking about before the show is that's what it seems like, is that who knows if JT Barrett's actually any good, if it's just the system that he was put in, that he operated really well. I mean,
because if you really think about it, you can't give me only one quarterback out of the Urban Meyer system that has survived in the NFL. And they talk about him on a regular basis of being just a manager. Alex Smith.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about him.
He has no other quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, he really
Tebow
doesn't.
was his other quarterback.
Chris Leak.
Chris Leak, never, nothing.
All the Ohio State ones. Well, he's really only had Braxton, hasn't he?
That's it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Braxton's not really talked about in the NFL circles.
Oh, not at all. He probably wouldn't even get drafted. Not as a quarterback.
Not as a quarterback.
Yeah, not at all.
So, I mean.
But that's a really, really good point.
I think the JT Barrett dude, I think this guy is the real deal. I think he's legit. He throws like you say, he throws a nice spiral. Mm-hmm. He's got the feet. Mm-hmm. It's just the Big Ten. It's hard to stay healthy being a mobile quarterback.
Oh yeah, playing in that cold weather, you'll get roughed up.
But
the thing, I think he's better. He was better than Braxton. I mean, if going into next year, I think it's hands down. You got to go with JT Barrett.
Before the injury, I even heard rumors of Braxton Miller possibly transferring.
Yeah, because he knew that he was going to beat out JT Barrett. What's that? Transfer to Michigan?
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
That would be so cool.
JT Barrett against Braxton Miller. We wouldn't want him in Michigan, though. He didn't. No.
You love quarterbacks like that. You got Denard Robinson, Devin Gardner.
We want to go
you
back.
love fake quarterbacks. You love running backs playing quarterback.
We don't want to do that no more, man. We got to get back to our Tom Brady, Brian Greasy days.
I agree. I think that's a smart thing to do.
Speaking of that, we might as well mention that the Michigan coach, Brady Hoke, was released, as well as Nebraska's head coach, Bo Pelini, was also released. So it's going to be some shakeup in the Big Ten. Those are two. Well, Michigan is a traditional powerhouse in the Big Ten, and Nebraska.
They were in the 90s and whatnot, but as of late, Nebraska was like the team back then.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, and they've had some pretty good teams as of recently. Like,
yeah, they have.
Minus a few stumbles against some good Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
They had a good year this year.
Absolutely. That running back that they had,
He got hurt.
Abdullah, yeah, he ran over everybody that they saw. Mm-hmm. And then he got hurt, and the team got hurt.
Yeah, so we got some good championship games going on this weekend. We got Wisconsin and Ohio State, Alabama and Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri, that's the second year in a row they went to the SEC championship game.
We got, I think it's Baylor and Kansas State,
Yeah.
or is it TCU and Kansas State this week?
It's Baylor and Kansas State, yeah.
Okay. And,
We have Oregon and Arizona.
yeah, a rematch. I mean, Oregon gets a chance to, avenge their only loss of the season.
What if Arizona wins that game?
If Arizona wins that game, man, I think that shakes things up.
That makes it real tough.
That shakes things up. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
And then what if Georgia Tech beats Florida State? Both of those could happen.
I don't think that's going to happen either.
No? Nobody wants to play Georgia Tech right now. They're playing really good, and that offense is tough.
And they had some officials on their side the other day, too.
Georgia Tech did?
Yeah. We got to get ready to take a break. We come back, we're going to get into it. We use that whole segment on college football.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of breeze through a little NFL.
Yeah.
Talk a little Johnny Manziel, Brian Hoyer. Talk a little college rankings.
Yeah.
NFL real quick.
Boxing?
And a little boxing.
Maybe
Just
some
a
boxing.
little tad bit. We got
Just
some
a taste.
sparring going on between Mayweather and Pacquiao,
Oh, really?
albeit Instagram.
Still.
Get in the ring. We'll be right back.
Our town, our TV. Amherst City Cable.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
All right, you ready for some baseball trivia?
Let's do it.
What year produced the most no-hit games in the big leagues?
7 no-hitters in 1990.
Wow, that's right. Now a question that's not trivial. How many children will witness bullying this year?
Huh.
The answer? 3 out of 4.
75%?
That's
Wow.
right. How many of them will say something?
Kids want to help, but don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov.
Welcome back to the sports show. The big homie Ty House and your co-host.
Alex Squires. And the big homie.
Let's talk NFL, Alex. The power rankings haven't came out yet.
They haven't?
No, they haven't. They're due
cares?
out about the time that the NCAA football rankings come out. So let's just see.
We know which teams are the best.
We're gonna go hypothetical today.
Okay.
If the playoffs started today, this is who we would have. We would have the Dolphins versus the Bengals in a wild card game.
Who would watch that game?
The Bengals, man. They're Ohio. They're Brown South.
I guess. I can't watch anything that involves Andy Dalton. I just can't.
The Dolphins, it might actually be an opportunity for Andy Dalton to finally win a playoff game. Game at home against the Dolphins?
It may be an opportunity, but that doesn't mean he's going to do it because he's horrible. And he's making $100 million.
He's got A.J. Green, man. And if they get whatever they running back is, I can't think of his name.
Gio?
Yeah, Gio.
Yeah,
They
he's
get
back.
him. He's back? Okay. Well, then the defense is there. They
Defense
have
is
a defense.
the run defense has been horrible. But Miami's a weird offense. They don't run the ball that well. They don't throw it that well either. But they manage points. I mean,
They manage points.
Tannehill, he's really turned the corner.
They gotta learn how to finish. The fourth quarter has been a problem for the
Yeah,
Dolphins.
yeah. And I think that speaks a lot to their youth.
And then
They
last
are
night's
young.
game against the Jets, I think really the Jets kind of gave that game away. I think
They
that
did
was,
at the end.
That was Rex being defiant. Rex versus the system.
I think it was. I think it was Rex making a statement
to the general manager.
saying that I don't want this guy.
I'm the coach. You're
Yeah.
not going to tell me what to do.
Right.
I don't care if you is my boss.
He threw the ball 13 times, completed
If that.
7, and handed it off 49 times.
Now-
8 different Jets carried the football.
Now to the defense though. Each and every time that boy Geno dropped back, he got whacked.
Yep.
All 13 times
Yep.
that he dropped back to throw the ball, he got hit.
All 13 times.
All
Yep.
13 I mean, so it wasn't like he was really getting time to get the ball off, you
Right,
know.
he wasn't.
And it's not like they don't have any offensive weapons. They just went and got my man Decker from Denver.
Yeah,
they
they
just
bring in
picked up Percy Harvin.
They signed Chris Johnson, you know. It's not. I was actually telling my buddy as we were watching, I was like, I bet the Jets would be fun to be in Madden because they have so many weapons
But
to
you
play
will be
with.
playing with Michael Vick, not Geno.
Oh, I'd have Taj Boyd in there. 'Cause he's probably still on the roster.
Lord have mercy. In the other wild card game in the AFC, you will get the San Diego Chargers and the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis.
Yeah, that would be a molly whopping.
Oh, you remember that?
It would be because the Chargers were playing very, very good in the beginning of the season, but Philip Rivers is hurt. I think we talked about that last show. He's got bruised ribs. He's got a bum knee. I mean, he played really well last week in Baltimore, but I think that game took every last ounce of anything he ever had out of him. So I don't think they're going to be much going on.
In the NFC, we have the Detroit Lions visiting the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's a really interesting matchup. It really, really is, because you have you have the Eagles that have all kinds of offense, but they
have
kind of
Mark Sanchez.
a bend but not break type defense to where they give up big plays, but they also make big plays on the defensive side of the ball. And the Lions, it was nice because I don't hate on the Lions. I like to see the Lions do well, even though they're from Detroit and you like them and I don't like you. I'm just joking. But it was really, really nice to see the Lions scratch some offense together on Thursday. Granted, it probably only happened because they were facing that horrible Bears defense, but it was nice to see them pull some offense out again because that defense is awesome.
I understand you Packer fans are ecstatic that you're only leading the division by 1 game, and you just had a decent little, barely squeaked the victory by over New England Sunday night.
Over the New England
barely
Patriots?
squeaked it by, just squeaked it. Just.
Oh, I'm sure plenty
That's
of
what
teams.
you did. That's what you did.
Goodness.
Just barely squeaked the victory by.
That's gracious.
This division, we are not a wild card team. We are winning this division. This will be Green Bay versus Philadelphia. In the other wild card game, we have the Seattle Seahawks, the defending Super Bowl champions, taking on the Atlanta Falcons.
The
Atlanta Falcons.
The 5-7 Atlanta Falcons. That NFC South is just such a mess that it's probably gonna 7 wins will win that division.
Man,
maybe?
Tampa Bay might still win this division.
Yeah, they could. They really could, which is crazy to think. And Seattle's been playing better as of late, but they don't look like the same team they were last year. Mm-hmm. So who's to say that game's who's to say that's a walkover game? It's not on paper.
So we got 4 weeks left in the season.
Yeah.
And as of right now, they got the Patriots winning division, the Broncos winning their division, the Cardinals winning their division, and Green Bay winning their division. Mm-hmm. That leaves out those Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Especially with the way the Eagles have been playing. The Eagles have been playing really, really well.
Everybody was all on the Dallas Cowboys at the beginning of the season.
We weren't.
Nope. In the AFC, you got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills still alive, as well as the Baltimore Ravens, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and long shot.
It's way down there.
The Cleveland Browns.
There it landed. I mean,
all of them tied at 7-5.
The Browns, I only know this because we are from around here, but the Browns don't own a tiebreaker against any team that's in the hunt right now. Not a single one. So they pretty much have to win out if they want to make the playoffs. And with the quarterback controversy right now brewing, what? Quarterback controversy?
Where?
That's what I would say.
Gee, Whitaker's back, man. It's controversy. These guys are 7-5 and in the playoff hunt.
I know.
Quarterback controversy.
It doesn't make any sense. Not a lick of sense.
I see a quote here on my iPad that says Brian Hoyer says, well, I'm not Brian Hoyer, but it says, I've gotten us to this point.
He's right.
I think this guy is big-headed. The defense has gotten you to this point. You know how many times these dudes have been inside the 10-yard line and didn't score a touchdown?
The defense has been bad this year, though.
The defense has kept this team in games.
I think with this team, I don't think you can point to one specific thing. I think the team has gotten themselves to this point. I truly think that. I know that sounds cliche or whatever, but this team, I truly think, has been doing it by way of a full team effort every week. Because it's not always, Hoyer. Sometimes, say Hoyer has a good game some game. Sometimes he has bad games. Sometimes the defense looks really good, like they did in Cincinnati. Absolutely smoked them. Sometimes the defense is just bleeding points. Sometimes the running game is just unstoppable. Sometimes we can't go anywhere.
It's like y'all just all over the place.
That's what I'm saying.
All over the place.
Is that in each
You need
time?
to put it all in one pile.
One pal with Johnny.
So you a Johnny fan? Johnny's going to be the savior?
You know I'm not a Johnny fan.
Is Johnny going to get you to the playoffs this year?
No.
Well, then why would you put Johnny in there? Why would you mess up the team's chemistry and put Johnny in there when you're 7-5? You still got a chance.
Beyond me. They put him in the fourth quarter. That game was pretty much over, right? He definitely sparked
The Buffalo Bills stadium went nuts.
Yeah.
I thought they was in Cleveland.
Did you see that fumble? That ridiculous.
I thought he was dead.
I thought he was too. And I thought that was a fumble. They did him a huge favor overturning that. But that was a fumble. He held it in his hand as he came forward. He got crunched.
I thought they had killed Johnny Manziel.
And he popped up pretty good, so give him some
I think
some
he thought
credit
he
on
was
that
dead
one.
for about 3 seconds
He
there
did?
because he later like, am I dead?
But to be fair, Johnny, I mean, he looked good on the first drive. He didn't on the second drive. But to be fair, that game was over when he went in. That Bills defensive front that he saw wasn't even close to the defensive front that Brian Hoyer saw. I know they pulled Mario Williams. They pulled Marcel Darius, put him back in, pulled him out again. He was in and out. It was not the same team. And yeah, he looked really good against that team. But ultimately, he sparked. He clearly sparked the offense at that moment. You could just see that everyone, just the Browns team in general, was just more hyped at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see him being able to do that.
Man, he is little.
He is little.
And then he got hit. And he had to think to see if he was all right. That's going to happen every time you leave that pocket.
Oh.
Every time you leave that pocket.
And that's another thing we saw.
Them linebackers going to be salivating to eat you.
He gives it about he gave it about 2.5 seconds each time before
He was gone.
Yeah.
And they was like, yes.
Yeah, right.
They was like on Lion King, what was the hyenas? Yes, yes. Get him. Get Johnny Manziel.
That's exactly
but
what they
he tried
wanted.
to dive over somebody when he got in the end zone. He was all about that money sign, boy.
God, that makes me so
He see that
annoyed.
end zone, he be about that money sign.
He's such an idiot.
He gonna make a lot of people tune in to the Cleveland Browns.
And I hold on, just real quick. They were. You know what? Never mind.
Let's talk NBA real
Yeah.
quick. Hey man, if I told you that there was the two best teams on December 1st in the NBA were two teams that did not win a playoff game last year, a playoff series, who would it be?
I would say that it's a team that I told you beginning of the season that I thought one was the best teams in the West, and you weren't with it.
Who is it?
The Golden State Warriors.
Man, you better get out of here, bro. I said the Golden State Warriors was gonna win the championship.
No, you said the Clippers were going to win the. Roll the tape back.
I said the Golden State Warriors gonna be right there.
No, he said the LA Clippers are.
I like the Splash Brothers, and the Clippers is getting it together.
You were all concerned about the head coaching situation. You were concerned about the bigs. I remember the conversation.
I am concerned about the bigs still. I like the Splash Brothers. I'm still concerned about the bigs because you see David Lee has not played yet this season.
Right.
And your man's, whatever his name
Bogut?
is, bogus. He done already missed 3 or 4 games this year. So I mean,
Well, he's gonna
the
miss some
Splash
games.
Brothers is the real deal, though.
Yeah.
And they got the other. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on TV. Just edit that one out.
You didn't say anything.
But this Maurice Spates guy that they picked up from Philly
Yeah.
has been filling the void.
Yeah.
He's 27, 28, 26 the last couple of games.
Philly picked him up from the Cavs.
Cavs got problems. Hey,
The Cavs could use Maurice Spates right now.
Toronto has dropped. They lost DeRozan for a couple of weeks.
A couple weeks?
Yeah.
Is that what you're hearing?
I think he'll be back.
Okay, that's good because
think
he
he'll
was
be back.
playing, out of his mind. I was
Yeah.
sad to see him go
They're
down.
going to need him back. Oklahoma City got Durant back tonight. They're 20th. Look for them to move up.
Absolutely. What's their record? It's not good.
They're 5-12 right
Yeah,
now.
right.
Real quick before we get out of here.
Boxing.
Pacquiao
Yeah.
and Floyd Mayweather been beefing with each other on Instagram.
They have been forever.
So, on Monday, Pacquiao posted a photo of his bout with Macau, but what made the Instagram images more interesting is the caption that was directed at Money Mayweather. Pacquiao wrote, "Stop throwing punches on Instagram. Let's get in the ring." He used the hashtag TBE and the best excuse, a parody to Mayweather's reference to himself as the best ever. Mayweather actually threw the first punch when he belittled Pacquiao's victory over Algeria by posting a video of Pacquiao's loss to Mexican boxer Juan Manuel Marquez, who has given Pacquiao 2
Yep, he is.
of his 5 losses. 5.
Why don't they just do it?
Guess what? Money Mayweather has a 0 next to his name. A 0.
But Mayweather's the one that doesn't want to fight.
Hey man, he don't care about fighting. I think he didn't want to fight at the time because of the whole little drug situation. But that's another day. It's another story. We gotta wrap it up. Maybe we even get into it
And where's
next
the
week.
domestic violence police for Floyd Mayweather? That's what I want to know.
He did his time in jail.
So did
Ain't no commission in the boxing league. Why you think they get away with all the shenanigans that they get away with now?
I know. I'm
We
just
got
pointing it out.
Maybe we'll do a whole boxing segment next week. We gotta go. This is the sports show. That's the homie.
Alex Squares.
And I am the host of the show, Ty House. Until next week, peace and blessings.
Our town, our TV. Amherst City Cable.